Hi Matt, how are you?
I'm doing excellent, Joe. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. My name's Matthew Pejkovic from Sydney. I'm doing pretty well. Okay, so we'll just get into it. That's okay.
Sure, whatever you need, man.
Excellent. I want to ask you about shark films. They're pretty much a genre within their own. What goals did you bring to this film, in special effects wise, to try to differentiate this shark film from other ones before it?
To try to instill a whole new level of fear. I was hoping to at least try to even come close to a great movie like Jaws a little bit. Like I remember being a child, right? When we saw that movie, it terrified me.
Yeah,
it terrified me, and I just wanted to have 1 second like that. If we could accomplish 1 second where somebody goes, that one moment. That's what I think that was my goal, was to make one moment that scary.
Yeah,
if it was possible.
You've worked with similar films like Piranha and Snakes on a Plane. Is it a fun gig when you have movies like this where you can really kind of go over the top with the effects and such?
Yeah, yes, and also two of them being the same director.
Yeah.
David Ellis doing Snakes on the Plane and Piranha. He's without question my favorite director. He's just a blast to work with. He's a real guy. He comes from very humble beginnings. Stuntman, and yeah, it is. It's neat, and he seems to get a lot of those, doesn't he? I guess I have, when I read the script, it's sometimes so unbelievable to me that we're going to film it.
Yeah.
Like when you read Snakes in the Plane, you go, "Oh my God, here we go." But for me, it's very challenging building the motion base for that, because the motion base is 112 feet long,
yeah,
28 feet wide to hold that, that jet, the whole 747, the whole front of it. So for me, the challenges on that were even more than scaring somebody, but how to make us believe we're in the plane.
Yeah. When you get a script for something like Shark Night, does your mind immediately start coming up with ideas? Do you take down notes? Do you do things like that?
Exactly, page by page.
Yeah.
When I read a script, whether it's Shark Night or any movie, I try not to get involved with the story or character development or any of that stuff. It's not my business.
Yeah.
I just want to add or contribute something of excitement, or to make sure I do exactly what the director wants.
Yeah.
But yeah, I immediately go to taking notes about effects and nothing else.
There are several kinds of sharks featured in the film. How much shark research did you do beforehand to make sure you got all the features right?
Well, I don't know if we did get all the features right, but we tried our best.
Yeah.
I think that, it just even the fins, if it's a hammerhead chasing, if it was a great white chasing, if it was whatever, we had interchangeable fins for all the remote control fin rigs. We had interchangeable skins for all the control sharks. So we tried to get it right, but I don't know. I think as long as the fin looked scary, if it was coming at you at the right camera angle, I was pretty excited.
Yeah.
If somebody could tell the difference in the fin at that point, I really failed.
You spoke previously about Jaws. That film was notorious for the problems it had with its shark rig and water. Working in water, what type of logistical nightmares can come up from working with water from a special effects perspective?
I've been I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate enough to do 4 years of Baywatch and many water pictures. From Into the Blue to you name the rest. I mean, we've done many water pictures. And I think what I tell every producer is they say babies are difficult or animals are difficult or everything. I think water is a whole other entity when it comes to doing a movie. Yeah, it's like its own cast, if you will.
Yeah.
You have to baby that thing, and you have to somehow play with it every day.
Yeah.
So it makes the simplest thing, just going from point A to point B to get a cast to the boat.
Yep.
You have to put them on a little boat and take them to the big boat. And every time I rig something, especially hydraulics, it can't leak.
Yep.
It has to work completely above or below the water. Water films are a pain in the ass, man.
Yeah. I want to speak to you a little bit about 3D. Coming from as a special effects man, do you think 3D seems to suit genres such as horror or science fiction more than it would, say, a drama?
That's a really good question. Me personally, I have embraced 3D because I've been, in essence, I've been asked to, haven't I? I've embraced 3D because the producers want to see it done.
Yep.
So I try to design shots that will come more into the camera, or try to figure out something that'll look cooler in 3D.
Yep.
Right? But I tend to find that a well-composed shot or a well-composed effect works in 2 or 3D. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I design too much for it, I don't think it does it justice. I think you just have to design the best composed shot you can and go from there.
Yep. Well, you've been in the industry for like almost 20 years now. You've seen the rise of CGI, some really great technological advances in animatronics and makeups and such. What's your view of 3D? Is it something that's going to be a flash in the pan, or do you see it as something that's going to develop over time and be a much more regular staple in cinema?
Well, first I'd like to say, first off, you have some of the better questions I've been asked, dude. You're asking like great questions.
Oh, cheers, man.
You get asked so many questions in these things. And what I would say is this: is that I came into the business at a time where a lot of my mentors were saying green screen was a flash in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
Computers will never take over what we do. And I chose to embrace green screen. I looked at it as like it made more work for me.
Mm-hmm.
If you needed a splash in the water, well, they can make the water, but I make the splash.
Yep.
Or I could blow up the car and they'll add the flame in the background. So for me, every time I heard there was a green screen shot, I tried to get involved with it and embrace my digital counterparts, kind of befriend them, if you will, and let's make a better product.
Yep.
And I think that over the years, it has really done well for me. Yes, I've lost some work to green screen, but it's invented other avenues, other things for us to do as well. So, 3D, how it's to green screen, I don't know if 3D is going to stick throughout the test of time. But I think the computer-generated 2D modeling and 3D modeling, without question, is going to get better and finer and stick throughout the test of time. I'm not convinced 3D will.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like the old school special effects movies, like what Rob Bottom did on The Thing, and what was done on American Werewolf in London, and etc. Is there a specific film which you can point to which really stood out for you and kind of said to you, now that's how special effects are made in the movies?
I guess there was turning points for effects,
Yeah.
I guess like Raiders of the Lost Ark, had so many different types of things, rear projection, front projection, very rudimentarily 2D modeling. I think, a movie like Raiders of the Lost Ark, when I look at it, I think that it was cutting edge on its day,
Yep.
and did a hell of a job at it. It had wonderful people working on it. Of course, I had nothing to do with it, but from an effects man looking in, I think that was probably a turning point,
Yep.